Now that's a dirty bass drum. Love that. Hello and welcome to The Sound Test Room. My name is Jakob, I'm your host and you're watching a haQ attaQ episode. In this episode, I'm gonna show you how to import your own samples into iSpark so you can build your own custom drum kits. I love iSpark. I think it's a brilliant app. I'm just not that fond of the sounds already in there. I like using my own stuff. And if an app has an importability for using, well, my own stuff, then I'll usually put my own stuff in there. I've just started making this drum kit, so I haven't gotten too far. I've only made a bass kick and a snare drum. These are just layered sounds, so let's begin like this. Press up here, make a new one, completely new, and the default kit will be loaded. It doesn't really matter, we're gonna put our own sounds in there. There are various ways of putting your own samples into iSpark. I'm using AudioShare. I went back in time. Well, I went back to an old hard drive and found a folder from 2005 containing a lot of drum sounds that I just haven't used. I've made them myself using various types of samples and synthesizers and just stored them away for later use. I shared them to my Dropbox folder, and through AudioShare I went into my Dropbox folder and imported all of the samples right here. Let's have a listen to a few. I kind of like this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to press this and send it, and it's imported. And you can just continue doing this for all the samples that you want. Let's go into another folder, various drums. Ooh. We're gonna send that to iSpark, like that. Now we have two kick drums inside the iTunes sharing folder. The samples are placed in that folder when you send stuff to it. So you could just as easily connect your iPad to a desktop computer and connect it to iTunes and just drag and drop all of your samples like that. But, you know, I don't like using iTunes. The biggest drawback with moving samples like this, you have to do it one at a time. Okay, so let's make a layered bass drum. If you look up here, you have different pages. So we go to the studio page, and here is where we layer and make our drum sounds. And right now it's got a default bass drum loaded. We're gonna load our own. So to do that, tap there and then go to the iTunes share folder where we will find our imported drum samples. So we're gonna choose that, and you can play it and load it. But I want to layer my sound. I want to add a dirty bass drum into this mix. If you look here, you can see that you have layers, and you can have up to 6 layers for each drum sound. First, I'm gonna do this. You see here, you have the gain. I'm gonna pull down the gain knob, and this only affects the sample you've got chosen in that certain layer. So right now we're in layer 1, and when I pull the gain, it's gonna affect only this drum sample. It's different with these, because all of these functions right here affect the overall sound, meaning each and every one of the layers you've loaded. So let's go to the layer picker right here and choose layer number 2. Right now it's empty, and then we're gonna choose another drum sound. Crank, so it's this one. Oh, I love that. So we're gonna load that one. I'm gonna pull down the gain, go back to layer number 1, and pull that one up. And look at this now. I can hear it when I'm pressing down here, but when I go up, I can't hear it. That's because the sample playback for the different layers have different settings. And if we look here, you have a layer mode. Right now it's controlled by velocity. So down here we have the first kick drum. And when we move up, it's actually playing layer number 2. But right now, the gain is down. But if I raise it, meaning the drum pad is now split up in 2 zones. If you add 6 layers, then you will have 6 zones. Very useful when you're working with multi-sampled kick drums or snare drums on one pad. But the way I want to make it is so that both samples are playing at the same time. So we go into the list here, and you can see you have random, circular, stacked, velocity and threshold. Now, for me to be able to play both sounds at the same time when pressing the pad, I have to choose stacked. Now that's a dirty bass drum. Love that. And then just continue doing that with all of the pads, adding maybe some bass, maybe some laughter, some other type of vocals. Why not sample some kitchen supplies and add it into your snare drum or your hi-hat? This is the biggest reason to why I love iSpark. Go and sample some stuff, make your own drum kits, and remember, you can share your drum kits. But I'll save that for another video. As usual, Doug Woods, Colin Sweeney, and me, Jakob, at soundtools.com, wishes you a very productive week. Now go finger your surfaces and have a lot of fun doing it.